Good evening, Legionnaires. This is Mr. Hare from the Burke and Hare's House of Horrors team, and tonight's review, I would like to talk about Saint Maud. Saint Maud is the most recent release from the company A24, and this is a genuinely frightening and unsettling tale. I personally love this movie. If The Lighthouse wasn't released this year, I would personally have said this is by far my favourite horror movie of the year. However, with The Lighthouse, it just falls slightly behind on The Lighthouse, but this is not a small feat. This movie is almost in a genre of its own. It's unique, it's frightening, unsettling. There's many scenes where even I was like, oh, and literally the body horror. You've got like a madness, fanaticism, faith, forbidden desire, all in one movie in the space of 90 minutes. When I first heard of this movie being 90 minutes, I was a bit on the, is it going to be able to cram it all in 90 minutes? Because you know what I mean, when we have like a short movie, they have to like almost like cover a lot. But in this movie's case, it fit perfectly. So Maud, played by Morfydd Clark. Morfydd Clark is an upcoming actress, and by far she shines in this role. She's like, how can I describe it? The perfect contradiction. She is both saintly, yet sinister. There are many scenes when she's looking after Amanda, played by Jennifer Uele. Sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. Amanda is a former dancer. In palliative care, she's trying to come to terms with her upcoming demise. So Maud looks after her. There are many scenes where Maud is almost like a watchful angel watching her, but at the same time, a lurking presence in the house. There are many scenes where you almost feel like you're frightened for Amanda. You don't know where Maud or what Maud is going to do. I mean, Morfydd Clark's Maud is a perfect contradiction. She's innocent, she's naive, she's frightening, and there's more to her that you don't know. There's hidden traumas. There's even a scene where the whole movie gets turned on its head. I'm not going into any detail, but you kind of realise, is Maud even her name? Who was she? Who is she? Kind of stuff. The movie doesn't delve too much. Don't worry, I'm not going to. This is not a spoiler-filled review. I'm not going to go into any spoilers. But there are many scenes in the stories, which, in this case, I thought was fantastic. I mean, body horror, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a particular scene where both me and Mr. Burke are watching at the cinemas. We're both like, oh, 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 no, oh. It's like, ah. And when you watch it, you'll know what I mean. As for the horror, where does the horror originate in the story? So, I suppose a good thing about most A24 movies is, unlike some movies, like if I was going to say like Friday the 13th, The Conjuring, you know what it is. You know either it's going to be a masked madman, get my words right, a masked madman with a machete, or a demonic nun. But in this case, the horror is entirely up to you. This is your interpretation on how you want to decide that, which personally I loved about this, where, for instance, Saint Maud claims to hear the voice of God, who speaks in a deep Welsh voice, old style kind of Welsh language. But this God isn't the God you're used to. So normally, when you think of God, you kind of think of, this fatherly or loving kind of presence. But in this instance, in this movie, this felt like it was an Old Testament kind of wrathful kind of God. Almost like a sinister kind of God, which I kind of loved. Is Maud generally hearing the voice of the Lord? Or is she just mad? The answer is up to you. There's one, and this movie has got a few jump scares in, but hold on, when I say jump scares, I know my feelings on jump scares, but this jump scare I'm referring to, the biggest one, I did not see coming. And when it did come out, my God, it was perfect. It was nearly on par with the jump scare of The Exorcist 3. No build-up whatsoever. Then, whoa, to the point where I remember jumping and clacking my knee on the other side of the chair. But Saint Maud, there's more to it than that. It's almost like a movie also on forbidden desire. There's Maud lust after Amanda. There are scenes where, she's helping her in a palliative care bit, and she's like helping her move her, manipulate her body to help her move. But this isn't done in almost like a maternal way. This is almost done in almost like a love and seductive kind of way, which kind of makes me think Maud is harbouring feelings for Amanda, but at the same time dare not act on these feelings due to her beliefs. I mean, this is a character development movie that is fantastic. And, of course, the great final act is one of the most unsettling acts of cinema I've seen for quite a while. In fact, the very last scene is definitely unsettling. It's up to your own interpretation, but my God, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm happy to give, as I said in my previous review on our page, I'm happy to give this a 9 out of 10. If this is the directorial debut of Rose Glass, this is her first time she's done a movie. She wrote and directed this movie. And this is the first one. I see a very promising career ahead of her, because she can stand on the likes of directors like Robert Eggers and Ari Aster, but it's their unique vision of movies that continues to both thrill and delight to make me anticipate every A24 horror movie they release. What I like most about this movie is the way it's shot. There's almost like an isolated feel. Maud herself is lonely. The way the camera's shot around her makes her feel lonely. Like, there are great scenes where she's walking in an open background and she's alone, and it feels totally alone. Or the scenes where she's walking down like a narrow staircase, but the way it's shot, make you feel oppressed and claustrophobic. Or even Dingy Flat, small, the way it's shot makes her feel oppressed. And herself, Morfydd Clark, as I said, she doesn't win a form of award for her performance in this role, I'm going on strike, because she was one of the best aspects of this movie. And all I can say is to you all, viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Please go watch this movie. Thank you ever so much. Please like and subscribe. Thank you ever so much from the Birkenhead House of Horrors team. You all take care now. Night.